I promise. Recession's even more likely than ever.
Not the majority of them aren't saying that. Come on, don't make things up, okay? Now you sound like a Republican politician. I'm joking. That was a joke. But all kidding aside, no, I don't think it is. This idea that they don't have oil to drill and to bring up is simply not true. This piece of the Republicans talking about Biden shut down fields, wrong. There are 9,000 of them, okay?
Mr. President, we take a couple questions.
I have a helicopter waiting for me to take off. We're going to have plenty of time to talk about a lot of this.
Do you think the Supreme Court is broken, in your view?
I think the Supreme Court has made some terrible decisions.
I think our judgment in real time proved to be incorrect. There was no model of that. We can't look at the last 20 times it happened. So that's, for sure, in hindsight, it was not transitory.
Do you want to see the court overturn? You just said you want to see the court protect the Second Amendment. Do you want to see the court overturn Roe v. Wade?
Well, if we put another 2 or perhaps 3 justices on, that's really what's going to be, will happen. And that'll happen automatically, in my opinion, because I am putting pro-life justices on the court. I will say this, it will go back to the states, and the states will then make a determination.
With the president's handling of inflation and the economy hitting lows in recent polls, how do you make the case to voters that his economic policies are working, that it's not his fault, that inflation is a worldwide problem, that the gas prices are not Joe Biden's fault? How do you do that?
Even the cost of food going up, it is a global challenge. When the president walked into the White House over a year ago, the economy was tanking.
I know that we're having a debate right now about the gas tax holiday, but for us to suggest that 30 cents a day for 3 months is real relief, that's a real energy policy, means that we are not tackling the problem that has to be tackled. We are offering gimmicks.
Committee, he was
the
not
gentleman
be here.
will suspend.
But Madam Chair, what is the purpose of this? What is the purpose of this hearing?
The gentleman will suspend. This is not about a stated parliamentary inquiry.
That is the parliamentary inquiry, Madam Chair. What is the purpose of it? You can bang the gavel all you want, but I don't really care. What is the purpose of continuing this, Madam Chair? That is the parliamentary inquiry. And how does Congress's business actually be continued? How does Congress's business actually be continued by continuing this hearing?
Co-sponsor.
Why is he not in the room tomorrow to express this message himself?
Well, the president talked about this, as you just stated earlier today. The Secretary of Energy, Senator Granholm, was just standing before you, is going to have those conversations. I do want to add, no one has been required to pay a single dime of student loans since the president took office, which is 41 million borrowers, provided $20 billion in targeted debt relief to 1.3 million borrowers.
Is there a working theory that the administration currently has as to why the oil companies have not already increased their refining capacity?
You know, there's no working theory on our part.
The only way out of these boom and bust cycles is to break that sole reliance, and that means diversifying our fuel sources by deploying clean energy.
All women and all birthing people in this country. But not only that, they've chosen to strip rights from men, too.
You see this turnout here? You ain't seen nothing yet.
A lot of people can't afford a $60,000 electric car, and they also are having a hard time affording gas right now. That sounds like a painful transition. So how much of that kind of pain is the president okay with?
No, that transition, we are in a transition to clean energy. That is something that is important. It is going to create jobs. When you think about electric vehicles, it is going to give families some tax credits. It's going to be really important to have.
Who can afford an electric car? The average price is $61,000.
Well, we're going to continue to move forward with what we have put forward, the bipartisan infrastructure.
$5 gallon gas or a $61,000 electric car?
That is not. First of all, that's apples and oranges. It's not the same.
Yesterday, the administration played a little press release wordle at a time when the U.S. is achieving record oil production under the Biden administration. Now, I know we're not anywhere near record oil production. Guys, that caught my eye, and I fired off an email to the Department of Energy about it, trying to get clarification, haven't heard back. But then I realized, Joe, this is political wordle. Think about it. And by the way, The press secretary said the same thing on the podium. Record oil production under the Biden administration. So yes, that is true. Under the Biden administration, this is record oil production. But man, you know, I gotta admit, I'm impressed. Whoever wrote that way, I salute you, because that wordplay was so smart. Because it makes it sound like 99%.
You could find cutting the deficit in a record way because we're no longer spending trillions on it's one thing after another when you hear the talking point.
The president isn't really doing everything he can to bring gas prices down, is he?
I feel like there's is there something else to the question?
Oh, there's a lot to the question.
Oh, okay. Well,
for example, as you mentioned earlier, he's meeting today with people installing offshore wind equipment, but not oil and gas CEOs who are rarely ever in town, but they are today. So how did that help lower gas prices?
Well, the president has done a. So let me step back for a second.
But no.
With
offshore wind
you're asking me.
Not with gas.
You're asking me the question.
CEOs, how does that lower gas prices? You said he's done everything in his power. They were a mile away.
Peter, you're asking me a question. May I answer?
Yes, please.
Okay, here we go. I just want to take us back a second on how we got here. Right? The president took action. He took action. He made a historic choice to tap the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. It is going up, so that matters. The ethanol 15 that the president accesses.
But your point was about how we got here. The president said, as a candidate, no more drilling on federal lands, no more drilling, including offshore, no ability for the oil industry to continue to drill, period. Aren't some of those things that would bring the price of gas down now?
Let me tell you how we got here. The global oil supply and gas prices have gone up nearly to $2 since the beginning of the year before the invasion. President Biden has taken historic actions again to alleviate the pressure and to blunt what.
Because of Donald Trump, Mitch McConnell, and the Republican Party, their supermajority in the Supreme Court, American women today have less freedom than their mothers. They cannot be allowed to have a majority in the Congress to do that. But that's their goal. But we are not going to let this pass. A woman's right to choose, reproductive freedom, is on the ballot in November.